Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan.
And we had a strange week in week one this week. The Bears and the Steelers only put up 3 points. The Browns lost to the Titans at home. A shocker there. Patriots got Antonio Brown, which we talked about. And Lamar Jackson, a quarterback?
Touchdown passes?
Strange things have happened this week in the NFL, and we're here to talk about it going game by game, which I actually need to pull up the games for week one so that we can go through them again.
Yeah, pull those babies up. You should have.
All right, Thursday Night Football, we'll start with that one. Jordan,
Ooh.
start on your end.
All right, this was Packers at Bears. Game ended in a 10-3 Packers victory in Soldier Field. Wasn't too good for my favorite team, the Chicago Bears. For a lot of these week one games, it's gonna be hard to evaluate for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But the Bears' offense did not look good at all. Their defense didn't just play good; they played great, in my opinion. They played great, holding Aaron Rodgers at 10 points. That's pretty good. That offense needs to step up, play better. They know that. And Packers, people are saying their defense looked really good. I'm not saying really good. I say they looked better than last year for sure. Rodgers was slow to start. That offense was kind of slow to start. They need to get their running game better. Aaron Jones didn't have his greatest game. I think he probably will do better, but that's my opinion on that.
All right.
Well, I think it ultimately just comes down to Mitchell Trubisky. He looked off in that game. The interception, Adrian Amos just read that ball perfectly. There were a few good plays. Allen Robinson had some nice catches, but ultimately I'm concerned about the Bears' offense. I think it's key for them to bounce back in these next few games for them to prove that they could function and be a contender in the NFC North and beyond. But ultimately, I think that even though this was a defensively minded game, I feel like what the Packers did, they took Khalil Mack out of the game for the most part. The Packers' offensive line actually did solid, pretty much post first quarter, in my opinion. Rodgers took what the defense gave him, and it turned out to be just enough. It was kind of a sloppy game offensively for both sides. Kind of like that was it was very old school defensive style game. But I think with week one, it's important to remember to react, but not to overreact. Rough start for the Bears, but I think the Bears in the end will finish better than the Packers, and I think the Bears will be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that last statement you just made there. It was very rough for the Bears in that game. Throughout the entire thing, the bright spots were the defense, and Eddie Pinheiro made that kick that he had.
And then he kicked it out of bounds.
Yeah, then he kicked it out of bounds, which was very
disappointing.
Yeah. So, Packers, they looked good defensively. David Bakhtiari also on the offensive line stopped Khalil Mack as well. It's a big point that Ryan has made as well while talking to him previously. I think the Bears will be just fine. The Packers will be a good team as well. But that's what I got to say about that game.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep our analysis a little bit shorter. This video is going to be an hour long. But move on to our next game here. Tyler, tell us what game it is.
The next game is the Rams at Panthers game.
All right.
We can just have a discussion about it.
Yeah. So, honestly, I don't know too much about this game. I know McCaffrey had a good game. I've always been high on McCaffrey. I don't think that the Panthers' passing offense was too good. And the Rams didn't play up to the caliber they wanted to. Malcolm Brown, their backup running back, looked good. That's one upside for them there.
Yeah, I just want to build on what you said real quick about Malcolm Brown. I think the Rams have one of the deepest offenses in the NFL, and honestly, I think it was just so impressive how even though Todd Gurley was off, Brown was able to step up, and even though Brandon Cooks didn't do much, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp were able to step up. This offense is going to be dangerous, and yes, I know it was a close game, so you might not fully buy into what I'm saying, but I think the Rams, I think they're the best team in the NFL this year. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl just because of how many options they have on offense and how when one guy does bad, they got another guy that can step up and do his job.
Yeah, close game there. The Panthers did get that block punt, which really put them in the game. If they didn't have that, it probably would not have been the same result and wouldn't have been as close, of course. Todd Gurley didn't do the best, and we didn't see a lot of Darrell Henderson. I was disappointed in that.
Me too.
Personally, I thought we would see a lot more of him. But there's still a lot more weeks to go, so we'll see what happens. Next game, Redskins at Eagles. That was an interesting one. Eagles didn't look good in the first half. at all. The Redskins were dominating. In the second half, they were a new team. They came out offensively and did what we saw them do in the 2017 year, with Carson Wentz having a chance to be the MVP. As I mentioned in another video, that he'll be a runner-up for this one as well. I thought it was a great game. It was closer than expected. What do you guys have to say about it?
Well, it's the Redskins, so I got to chime in here. That Washington team is the first half is the Redskins team that you probably heard me talking about for a lot of our videos in the offseason up until the start of the season, because it was a Redskins team that was able to use their receivers. It was a Redskins team that exploited the Eagles secondary. And that Redskins defense, I told you that they could be sneaky good this year. And yes, I know what happened in the second half, but the bottom line is that the Redskins put the rest of the NFC East on notice, because most people didn't even think about this game. They're just like, oh yeah, Eagles, but it was a one-score game in Philadelphia. The Redskins, they proved that they can go into Philadelphia and hang with the team that many expect to be a Super Bowl contender. I don't, but that's for a different time. Redskins did some nice things despite the loss.
Mm-hmm. You talked about the Redskins. I'll go a little bit on the Eagles. They had a slow start, but their offense looked a lot better at the in the second half of the game. Deshaun Jackson.
There you go. You got it right this time.
He did good. Carson Wentz played a lot better. I'm not going to keep naming players so I can name a bunch. I'm not going to do that. Falcons. Seriously. Eagles look better.
Birds.
Yeah, birds. Birds are playing this.
Go Birds.
Next game is the
Bills
Bills
at
at Jets. I didn't have to look at the screen for that. Bills at Jets. That was a close game.
Yeah, for sure.
AFC
Close as it gets.
East rivals there. I guess you can call them rivals.
Yeah.
It was.
I would say so.
Yeah, it was a game between two teams that you're going into this year. You kind of there's hype behind them. They could be good. They could not be good. The Bills ended up taking this one as the Jets were not able to hold on, but Le'Veon Bell looked all right for the Jets. I mean, I'm sure they're happy with that. Bills. Both these teams know they can improve most likely, so that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, and I'm really concerned because I expected these two quarterbacks to both play a lot better. I thought we were both going to see them play well, but it turned out almost being just the opposite. Sloppy game for the offenses, and I think it'll get better, but I just expected better play from Sam Darnold than Josh Allen in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Next game, Falcons at Vikings. The Vikings impressed. They won this game 28-12. Run game was huge for them. Dalvin Cook did great. He was on my fantasy team, so that was great.
Told them to pick them.
It's true, we did, but I was probably going to pick them anyways. But yeah, I mean, they looked great offensively. Only threw 10 passes. They didn't need to throw any passes. The run game was so good. So, Falcons, they got to pick it up. They'll be fine. Their offense will get there. Eventually, it just wasn't in the first game.
Yeah, I'm high on the Vikings, and really just that defense. Like, they shut out the Falcons for the first three quarters, and I'm not saying they didn't try in the first quarter, but once you're up 28-0 after the third quarter, they might, that's a time where you could play some prevent defense. So, the Vikings might have taken a little chill.
Not the Texans game, but yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. You guys covered that pretty well. I think the Falcons are going to bounce back, and the Vikings showed what team they could be this year.
Next game. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Ravens.
Oh, shoot.
Lamar Jackson.
Come on,
Let's just get an
Just
apology
this time.
from us.
Not bad.
This might be a little early, but from us and across the world, you proved to us on Sunday.
One time. You proved it
One time that you're not a running back.
Prove it again.
You were not a running back
Prove it
in
again.
week one. You were an
it
elite
again.
quarterback in week
Do it again.
one. A perfect passer rating for
Do it again.
Lamar Jackson. Did not think I'd be sitting here saying that today. That whole offense looked good. Marquise Brown was a huge bright spot on that
Mark
offense.
Ingram, 2
Mark
touchdowns,
Ingram
over
as
100
well.
yards.
You love
Attaboy.
And the Dolphins,
I love me some
Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick went in that game, and they could not do anything at all. So.
Yeah, I think that's probably all the analysis we
Yeah.
honestly put in that game. That game, it just went the way it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're tanking for someone.
We'll see.
Herbert.
Josh Rosen will not be on this unless he's a backup.
All right, next game we have Chiefs at
This game happened
Jaguar.
yes, at Jaguars. It happened a couple days ago. You should know. All right. Well,
Hey, I'm starting. You started last time, sweetheart, and I was supposed to start last
we're
time.
going in random orders here.
Too bad. I'm starting. Good picture. Chiefs at Jaguars. The Chiefs kind of showed the team that they are. Mahomes went out, and although he got
Mahomie.
injured.
Mahomes
He
had
showed
it.
that he is still MVP caliber. Kelsey looked good. Unfortunately, Tyreek Hill is hurt. Sammy Watkins went off. I don't think he's going to do that every week. Running backs, Sean McCoy and Damian Williams both looked good. And then the Jaguars side of the ball, Nick Foles. He's hurt something with his clavicle.
Yeah.
So he's going to be out. He's on IR currently. Jaguars not looking good for their defense. I mean, the defense is still their defense.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. They are still their defense.
Yeah. But
They'll have some good games.
any other analysis on that?
No, I mean, other
Yeah.
than that,
I just
Miles
feel
Jack
bad.
got
for
ejected
Foles.
from that game. Foles, yeah.
I feel bad.
He was
for
going to
Foles.
do great things, I feel like. Not great, but good things.
Okay, like not win division great, but
No.
okay, great.
Yeah.
But one more thing, just I mean, Gardner Minshew didn't look terrible in that game. He actually did some nice
No,
things.
you're
So
right.
I'm
He
eager to
did.
see what he could do.
It was very interesting to see him go out there, of course. And they released Alex Magoo as well.
No,
the Jaguars
no,
did.
he was already on the Texans practice squad.
Yeah, they released him before the season.
Yeah, before the
so-
season, and then the
so
Jaguars.
He decided to play.
They were
Texans
trying.
got him.
Yeah, the Jaguars were trying to get him back, but the
Yeah.
Texans said no, and they moved him to their active roster.
Yep, exactly.
And the Jaguars traded for Josh Dobbs from Pittsburgh.
That's not going to do much for them.
Yeah,
All right.
I didn't really get that.
Next
If
game,
not, okay.
a huge shocker. The Titans at the Browns in Cleveland, 43-13. If I was to say this 5 days ago, I'd say, oh, it's definitely the Browns that got 43. Nope, the Titans got 43 points. They were absolutely amazing. Let me just say that. Marcus Mariota looked good in that game as well. Delaney Walker had a pair of touchdowns, I believe. A.J. Brown, the rookie, did some great things. Derrick Henry at the running back position. In his prime right now, I feel like, although his prime is not like you see like the best running backs in the league, but he had a great game as well in the Browns. Baker Mayfield, too many mistakes, really. That's all what it came down to. Defensively, they couldn't make any stops either.
Titans were impressive in that game.
Yep.
Yeah, by the way, thanks for letting me go first. Appreciate it.
It's in a random
It's my
order.
turn. Yeah, random order is not you every time.
Next
You.
Next
No, Ryan's
game.
gonna go first.
Hey, you can go first.
Yeah,
Next
no,
game,
I'm-
49ers at Buccaneers.
I really think this was good for San Francisco to get this win. You know, it wasn't pretty at the beginning, but I think it was good that they were able to have a strong second half and get this done. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo, shaky start, but I think as this year goes on, that offense is going to get better. So I think we just saw part one of what's going to be a process of their offense improving.
Yep.
Two interesting teams playing this year. Questions about both teams coming into the season. Richard Sherman got a pick six, just something to mention from that game. But it's gonna be interesting to see how these two teams go. Interesting game in this week one. Any other analysis, or can we move on to the next game?
Yeah, it was a battle of offenses that are not ready for the season yet, but will be eventually. So
Good point.
Next game, Giants at Cowboys. This was another one of those blowouts here. The Cowboys looked pretty good. Zeke looked good. Dak looked good. Amari looked good. I can keep naming names of people who looked
everyone
good in that
looked
game.
good.
A lot of people looked good in that game for the Cowboys. Cowboys hype. Of course, I've never been one to jump on those Cowboys hype. America's team. It's always fun to make fun of Cowboys fans. The Giants they're underwhelmed. Their offense didn't lose much of Saquon Barkley as I would have liked, but I think it's because they were stacking the box on him. Although he had that big run when there were a lot of people there, that's just what he could do. He's good at breaking tackles. Give Saquon the ball. I know, run play action. That play action works very well for you Giants. Keep running play action because that's going to get a lot of defensive bite on the Saquon Barkley run and throw passes. I'm not saying run it all game. You got to throw passes if you're Giants. Just give Saquon his chances. He's still that star player.
I feel like he analyzed that pretty good.
Yeah, he hit it on the head.
That's right. Next game, Lions at Cardinals. This game ended in a tie. I kind of predicted something. I said that the Cardinals were going to struggle in their first game offensively. I was close. They struggled in the first 3 quarters of that game. And then I said they're going to be something great in the next game, but it ended up being great in the 4th quarter. They were a completely different team. Kyler Murray showed why he was drafted first overall. We did see a couple block passes. His height is a disadvantage for him for sure.
You
But-
said blacked?
Blocked.
Blocked.
I said blocked.
This is what you are.
Anyways, it says peasants on the screen. He's called
Alright.
a peasant. Whatever.
Not cool,
But
buddy.
the Lions, T.J. Hawkinson, the rookie tight end, had himself a great game. Matthew Stafford had himself a great game as well. in the first half that was, and then they kind of just died out. I mean,
Yeah, I'm really concerned about Detroit's defense after they blew that lead and all those points so fast. Good first 3 quarters, just could not finish it off.
Yeah.
Detroit should have won that
It
game.
was a fun game to watch, and was really the first good game that I watched all this year, as I watched the Vikings game, Browns game,
Bears
Bears game, and then there was that game that went into a tie on a game with Kyler Murray, rookie. It was fun to watch, but that game was perfectly analyzed by you two. Move on to the next one. Ryan's going to talk about this one first. Steelers. Actually, no, we're going to give Ryan
Yeah.
the next one. I'll talk about this
Probably
one
take about
first.
10 minutes for the next one.
Steelers at Patriots. Patriots ended up winning this one in Gillette, 33-3. What are you laughing at over there, sweetheart?
nothing.
But Patriots looked good. Tom looked good. Even they didn't run Sony Michel that much, but Rex Burkhead was in a lot. Sony Michel, like I said, James White got a lot of passes out of the backfield. That running back core looked good, and then Julian Edelman, Josh Gordon, Philip Dorsett, they all had pretty good games. Patriots and their defense played good too. Patriots looking good. Happy I chose them as a Super Bowl prediction as of right now. And Steelers, they just look slow. I love when you guys talk about the Steelers though. Give you guys some analyzing. Tyler.
Big Ben didn't play like Big Ben, you know. Very disappointing. The entire offense without Antonio Brown, without Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, they didn't have Le'Veon Bell, but they never played without both of them. They were a huge disappointment. Ben, I had you on my fantasy team. Come on, man. Yeah, just a big disappointment there. And as Jordan said, the Patriots don't even have Antonio Brown yet. It's going to be insane to see what they can do with Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limits for the Patriots offense.
All right, next game.
Ryan, take this one away. We're not even going to analyze. We're just going to let you go. Go ahead.
So I'm going to try and keep this from not being a rant and from being an analysis. So I apologize in advance if I do not uphold to that promise. But just, you've been warned.
Here we go.
So, first of all, before this game started, I said we had 2 Super Bowl contenders in this game. And I think I was proven right. Because we had 2 teams that were resilient, 2 teams that were able to strike quickly, and 2 teams that fought to the very end and looked like they could both be playing deep into January. But ultimately, the Texans just, they were this close. Well, actually, they were about, maybe the distance from myself to the camera close, maybe a few yards more. But the point is, they were just a few little mistakes away from winning this game. And this was really an opportunity for them to show the world on primetime that they were a true contender. They will show the world that at a time. It just, not yet. You'll see it soon, though. But my point is that the Texans really, they lost this game, and they've had worse losses, and it wasn't like they played bad. There were a lot of bright spots. The receiving core, the running backs, the defensive line had its ups and downs. J.J. Watt didn't really do as much as he would have liked. Ryan Ramczyk did a good job shutting him down. But the bottom line is, I'm going to highlight one particular play. It's the last play from scrimmage. So the Saints have 6 seconds left and 1 timeout. They are not trying for a Hail Mary because that play does not work unless you're Aaron Rodgers. And when it does work, its chances of working are very low.
They only needed 3 points now.
Yeah, and they only needed 3 points. They were down 28-27. So Drew Brees says, okay, look, the defense is giving me 10 yards, so why don't I just go take those 10 yards, and then we can call timeout. And
Terrible
then,
defensive
play
play there.
I'll
I
get to
agree.
it. And then the genius Bill O'Brien says, hey, you know what? Let's play prevent defense. Because, yeah, we'll give him free 10 yards.
Was
It's
it
going to
Bill
put it.
O'Brien or was it Romeo Crennel?
I don't know. It could have been both of them, but somebody did the wrong thing, and they're like, yeah, let's give them 10 free yards so they can set up that game-winning field goal. You know, we're not even going to put our defenders there. You go ahead and
Cost
take it.
them the game?
That's
Sure.
literally what you are saying when you line up with that prevent defense. That was just bad defensive play calling, whether it's Crennel or Bill O'Brien that had the idea. I don't know what it was, but it was a bad one. And then, honestly, this hurts, but I just got to give a shout-out to Will Lutz. Honestly, not only did he make that kick might have been good from 70 yards. He has ice in his veins. You broke my heart, Will, but I got to give you credit. That was impressive, and I think this was taking my bias out of it, I think it was the most fun game to watch of Week 1.
Yeah,
Tough
it
one,
was.
but,
I would
you
agree
know,
with that.
It's on to Jacksonville for the Texans. It's okay. Tough
And for
loss.
our first guest star on this show, we are going to bring in Ryan's brother, Jack. So Jack, come out here and explain to us what happened with that Will Lutz field goal kick. So look at the camera,
Texans,
smile, and give us your opinion.
They made a lot of mistakes, especially Hopkins. He had 3 passes, hit both of his hands, his fault, couldn't bring it
in the beginning.
Yeah.
At the beginning, he did not play
And
that
then
well.
I agree with Ryan completely on this one. Texans or Saints, they have the ball. 10 free yards to get down and call the timeout. They're playing a zone defense, and they just
A
gave him
deep zone defense too.
yeah, they just gave him a like free like in or out, whatever run. Yeah, and he
We'll work on
caught
it.
the ball, went down, called timeout, and then Will Lutz with an amazing field goal to end it.
57 yards. Right?
58.
58 yards. Sorry.
58,
58 yards.
world
Doing
or career record for Will Lutz.
Great.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jack, for
Thank
that
you for that,
analysis.
Jack. Now, Jack did say something about DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to negate that. I think DeAndre Hopkins had a good
Stay out of
game
your
despite the drops.
Ooh.
But
The drops were
he's
strange.
getting
though.
criticism on his first
They were
appearance.
strange.
Yeah.
But thank
They
you,
were
Jack.
strange.
Yeah,
Thank you for that, Jack.
Appreciate that.
Hey.
Hopefully you will
Hope to
return.
see you again sometime.
Yeah, return.
Maybe.
Maybe don't talk
All
about
right, we got
Texas
one more
loss.
game to talk about late last night.
For us.
The Broncos, yes, it was for everyone really. The Broncos and the Raiders in the Raiders stadium and their baseball stadium, not the football stadium. Good thing they're moving. But it was a good game for the Raiders. I mean, Josh Jacobs had 111 yards from scrimmage. He played absolutely extraordinary. Cleveland Farrell, even their fourth pick of the draft, everyone was doubting him. He got a sack in this game. Jonathan Abram was making plays as well. Derek Carr did very good. Only had a couple incompletions in this game. I'll let you guys talk about the Broncos for a little bit.
Well, the Broncos' defense did not look as hot as people had thought they were, and as well as the offense. Joe Flacco, I mean, he's kind of Joe Flacco. You don't really expect too much from him. The offense just didn't look. They kind of looked what I would expect them to. Maybe not what Broncos fans would want them to. I think they want them to do better. But I think the Broncos' offense went out and looked how I thought they would. But their defense, Tyler talked about while picking this game before, he was talking about how their defense was good. That's why he gave them the win. But obviously did not get the win. Their defense did not play as well. And I don't know if that's credit to the Raiders or just bad defense or what it was. It's probably credit to them both. You're right. Vic Fangio, that new head coach, didn't do enough for that defense. Playing the Bears next week. It'll be fun to see. But
Yeah. I think Oakland looked good in that game overall. I was impressed.
yes.
Ended at like 12 o'clock our time, but I stayed up and watched it because we're real fans.
Of course.
I tried to.
Sorry, Dad. I stayed up late. He's watching us right now. All right. And that is our analysis for the first week of NFL football. Thank you guys for watching.
It started.
It
Yeah.
has started.
The
We
fun
got
is
many
began.
more weeks to go. This is a great time of the year, other than school-wise. But
Yep.
make sure to like this video. Comment down below if you players that you thought. Help us out in fantasy. Maybe tell us some
Yeah.
players to pick up.
I lost last
I
week.
appreciate that.
that stuff. I already know.
Oh.
I know
Alright.
my stuff.
And yeah, subscribe to the channel. We got plenty more videos for you, and we'll see you guys later.
See ya.